I've got 6 bold predictions for the NASCAR New Year. Let me know what you think. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric. Welcome to Out of the Groove. When I say bold, I don't mean unrealistic. These are predictions I think could very well come true. By bold, I just mean they're not layups. Like, Kyle Larson wins 3 or more races this season. Like, hasn't he done that every year since getting to Hendrick? That seems like a wide open, uncontested layup to me. My predictions are a bit more of long shots, but I do truly believe in every single one of them. Let's see if you agree down in the comments. Let me know if I'm full of it. We'll start with rookie Connor Zilisch. I predict Connor Zilisch will win a NASCAR Cup Series race this season. Likely a road course. And I know what you're probably thinking, Eric, what about the Shane Van Gisbergen-sized elephant in the room? SVG will be tough to beat. He won 5 of the 6 road course races a season ago. He's got more next-gen car experience than Connor Zilisch. But I think Connor Zilisch has a great shot at getting at least one. There are 5 road courses on the schedule, including a brand new course, San Diego Naval Base Coronado, this June. And in their head-to-head matchups in the Xfinity Series last year, Connor Zilisch more than held his own up against Shane Van Gisbergen. They battled door-to-door on the streets of Chicago last summer. SVG kind of had to use Zilisch up to get the win at the end. Zilisch got the last laugh, beating SVG at Sonoma. Connor Zilisch, in the Xfinity Series last year, 7 road course starts, 7 top 5s, 5 wins, and a 1.7 average finish. Shane Van Gisbergen is phenomenal and will probably win more road course races than anyone next year, but Connor Zilisch is exceptional as well. I don't think it's far-fetched to suggest the rookie can get one this season. The most recent rookie Cup Series winners are Shane Van Gisbergen, last year, of course. Then you got to go back to Austin Cindric, the 2022 Daytona 500. So this doesn't happen very often. I think Connor Zilisch can join that exclusive club. Road course racing, it's a young man's game. Well, at least when you take out SVG. A lot of the Cup Series veterans, the Denny Hamlins, the Joey Logano's, the Brad Keselowski's, road course racing is not their forte. It's those younger guys. It's the William Byrons who are often in contention, the Christopher Bells. It's even Ty Gibbs, pretty sporty road course racer, Tyler Reddick, Chase Elliott. Connor Zilisch, younger guy, road course racing in his blood practically. I think Zilisch gets a win this year, probably on one of the 5 road course races. That's my first bold prediction. Next, I want to talk about the Craftsman Truck Series. Truck Series wins were hard to come by last season unless your name was Corey Heim. The good news for the field, Corey Heim won't be racing full-time this year. Caden Honeycutt is driving that 11 truck instead, and he's good. Will probably win a few races this year, but I don't expect him to win 12 to dominate half the schedule like Heim did last season. So my second bold prediction is that the Truck Series newcomers, Ram, Kaulig Racing, will win at least 4 races in their return season. Again, with Heim gone, there are potentially more wins on the table. And who are the Truck Series contenders? Obviously, Caden Honeycutt, for sure. Christian Eckes is back. Different crew chief this time around, but okay, watch out there. Lane Riggs should be good. Chandler Smith as well. Ty Majeski is great, but ThorSport took a step backwards last year, went winless as an organization. Daniel Hemrick, Tyler Ankrum, they're good, but not scary. I like Gio Ruggiero, Jake Garcia, some of these young guys, but come on, look at the Ram Truck Series lineup. Justin Haley is a proven Truck Series winner. He's a proven O'Reilly Auto Parts Series winner. He's back home with Kaulig Racing after spending, 5 full years in the NASCAR Cup Series. He has experience. And Brendan Queen, Butterbean, reminds me a lot of Josh Berry of a few years ago. A little older than your average prospect, a ton of short track late model experience and success. Both Berry and Brendan Queen are Cars Tour late model stock champions. And Butterbean last year won 8 ARCA races. He did what he was supposed to do. He handled business. I wouldn't be surprised if Queen, Haley both win a couple races next year. Daniel Dye, He's been around a few years now. He could snag one as well. You never know. And don't forget about the free agent truck. Don't forget about the fifth all-star truck. Tony Stewart, rumors suggest, could be in that seat at some point. Casey Kane could come back to NASCAR for a one-off. We could see some legends take laps in that fifth truck. Who's to say they don't steal a win at some point? I think 4 or more wins, is actually a fairly realistic bar to set for Ram's return to NASCAR. And hey, was it ever confirmed that Kaulig bought some of these truck chassis from Spire? Because if so, Spire won 4 races last year with guys like Kyle Busch, Carson Hocevar, Rajah Caruth. Yeah, I think Ram can get the job done this year for sure. Going off the beaten path for this third prediction, going Hollywood as a matter of fact, I believe Days of Thunder 2 will finally get a trailer sometime this calendar year. Look, it's very common for Hollywood films to get stuck in development, to spin their wheels for years and years and years without ever officially getting the green light, but there's just been too much chatter around Days of Thunder for something not to be happening. Film producer Jerry Bruckheimer indicated this past summer that a new Days of Thunder film was in development with Tom Cruise. Then back in November, Jeff Gordon went out of his way to tease a Days of Thunder sequel.
I don't know, Days of Thunder 2? What do you know? What do you know?
There we go. I knew we'd get something out of him.
Gordon is good buddies with Tom Cruise. Hendrick Motorsports played a role in the original 1990 film. Look, the original Days of Thunder leans into nostalgia, that late 80s vibe, but it still holds up today as one of the better NASCAR films of all time. And racing movies, dare I say, are kind of in right now. Gran Turismo a couple years ago, decent critical success. F1, the movie with Brad Pitt last summer, was one of the big blockbusters of the year. I think there will be a Days of Thunder sequel a la Top Gun Maverick. My prediction is we get an actual trailer before the end of the year. My only question, how do you not copy paste the F1 movie story? Or maybe you copy some of Cars 3's narrative. Tom Cruise, Cole Trickle is the aging star driver, one last chance at glory, or maybe he trains the next big thing as a mentor. I don't know. How do you not make it derivative of these other racing movies, or even Top Gun Maverick for that matter? Maybe audiences don't care. Hey, if a formula works, stick with it. But yeah, I believe Days of Thunder is actually happening. That's my third bold prediction. Let's get back on track for these next few. Spire Motorsports will finally win a Cup Series race. They've won a race before, 2019, rain shortened Daytona, Justin Haley, but this new era of Spire Motorsports with Hocevar, McDowell, now Daniel Suarez, one of those guys is going to get a win this year. I'm not sure which. Flip a coin. Flip a few coins. Carson Hocevar was oh so close a few times last year. Atlanta, spring. I think he blew up while leading the Coke 600 late. Wasn't he leading or running second at Michigan when they had mechanical trouble? He finished second at Nashville. Hocevar was close a few times last year. Michael McDowell arguably had the best car at Chicago. Led the most laps before a mechanical issue knocked him out and handed the lead to SVG, who never looked back. And then there's Daniel Suarez, who's now been in the league over 10 years. He's a 2-time winner, good road course winner, always a force at the super speedways, nearly stole the Daytona summer race last year. This is a good, solid group of drivers. Spire's on the up and up. Chevrolet is debuting a new body style, a slightly modified Camaro. They put the best and latest research into that, I'm sure. After coming oh so close and likely being very disappointed with the ultimate result last year, I think Spire will find victory lane in 2026. That's my fourth prediction. Number 5. I want to dip back down, this time to the O'Reilly Auto Parts series for this next one. I've got my eyes on 2 young, up-and-coming drivers. I think both Brent Cruz and Corey Day will win O'Reilly Auto Parts series races in 2026. I think the middle of the O'Reilly field is going to be dense this year. Sam Hunt Racing added a second full-time car. They'll leave the 2 seed cars. Viking Motorsports now has 2 cars and an alliance. There's 3 Jordan Anderson cars full-time with an alliance. I think the Young's Motorsports has 2 cars. I think they have an alliance. Jeremy Clements has an alliance now. Like, the middle of the field will be super, super competitive, but the talent in the top cars is kind of all over the place. Like, we know Justin Allgaier's great. We know Jesse Love's great. Sam Mayer, Sheldon Creed, Austin Hill, they should all be contenders. But then I've got some questions. Is Rajah Caruth really that good? Won a couple of truck races. He's in the 88. I love Rajah. I don't think he's Connor Zilisch. I'm not entirely sold on Sammy Smith, William Sawalich, or Taylor Gray just yet. Carson Kvapil made the championship 4, but still hasn't won a race. And Nick Sanchez was replaced by Patrick Staropoli. So I've got questions about the front of the grid, which is why I say, why not Brent Cruz and Corey Day? I don't think it's crazy to suggest those youngsters each get wins this season. Brent Cruz is getting into the Joe Gibbs Racing 19 car that just won the Owners' Championship. It's the same crew chief. Eric Almirola brought him to victory lane 3 times last year. I know Cruz hasn't even turned 18 yet, but he won like half of his ARCA starts last year. And I mentioned it on the show, but a few weeks ago, the TRD president singled out Brent Cruz specifically as his young driver to watch for this season, and I agree. And for Corey Day, he's an extremely impressive young dirt racer. He's had success recently in Australia this offseason, racing sprint cars. Kyle Larson has endorsed him in the past. Look, he only had 1 top 5 in 11 O'Reilly starts last season, but he finished the year strong with 3 straight top 15s, including that top 5 at Las Vegas. So while both drivers may not have much stock car racing experience, they're both extremely talented, adaptable, and I think the top of the O'Reilly field is kind of wide open this year. I don't think we'll see a 10-win season from anyone like we did this last year. So I think Day, Cruz could each get a win this season, for sure. Let's go back to the Cup Series for my final bold prediction. Joe Gibbs Racing had a tremendous 2025. 2 of their cars made the championship 4. A third car finished top 5 in points. They won 13 races as an organization, the high point for them in this next-gen era. I predict JGR will take a small step backwards. I think JGR wins less than 10 races in the Cup Series this season. Let me make myself clear. Christopher Bell, Denny Hamlin, Chase Briscoe, they are all going to win multiple races this year. They're all going to be in that championship conversation. I 100% believe that. But like I said, 13 wins a season ago was the team's best record in the next-gen era. It was their most wins as an organization since 2019, when they won like half of the races or something insane. And most importantly, I believe Chris Gabehart being in that competition director role a season ago played a huge role in the team's broad overall success. Even Ty Gibbs didn't win a race. He still won the in-season challenge, got that $1 million bonus over the summer. But now Chris Gabehart is gone, apparently. And I expect the team to take a small step backwards as a result. Again, I expect JGR to be in the championship conversation this season, but I'm not sure they'll be the favorites like they were for much of 2025. Christopher Bell was often considered a championship favorite last year. Briscoe, especially second half of the year. Denny Hamlin all but had the championship won at Phoenix. They set a high mark last year. I don't think they're going to match it in the wins department, at least. That's my final bold prediction. Let me know down in the comments. Are you buying what I'm selling? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Let me know. You can say I'm full of it. I won't be offended. These are bold predictions after all. That's the point. Get folks talking. Thanks for watching this video, folks. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe for more NASCAR content year-round. The season is right around the corner. Really appreciate your support. We've got plenty of things to talk about in the coming weeks, heading into the Clash, heading into Daytona. I hope you'll come along for the journey. Thanks for watching, y'all. I'll see you again real soon.